Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Thursday, April 19th. We have 5 games tonight on the main slate for Thursday. Before we do get started looking at pitchers today and looking at some batters that we want to target, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new uploads. But yeah, looking at pitcher today, definitely a pretty loaded position for it just to be 5 games. We have Jameson Taillon, Zach Greinke, Chase Anderson, even Jake Arrieta, all options we can target. Even got Eduardo Rodriguez, who you could play as well. So we do have some studs to consider on the slate. Got 2 pitchers over 10K, Taillon and Greinke. Then you have some good SP2 options as well with Anderson against the Marlins, who you could go to. Even Jake Arrieta, who seems way too underpriced at $7,600 against Pittsburgh. But looking at the 2 pitchers over 10K, Taillon and Greinke, I do like paying up for both of these guys. I think both of them are good plays today, but I do prefer Zach Greinke here against the Giants. I just think this is a really good matchup for Greinke. This Giants team, they're just not a very imposing lineup, and there are some strikeouts in this lineup as well, especially with guys like Hunter Pence versus a righty. Even Longoria versus a righty has an increased strikeout rate. McCutchen versus a righty, his strikeout rate is increased. Obviously, Greinke will be able to face the pitcher as well. We've seen some pitchers have really good outings against the Giants this year. I think Maeda earlier this year put up like 10 strikeouts against them. There are definitely strikeouts for Greinke here, and I do like him at 10.6. I don't think you can go wrong with Jameson Taillon if you wanted to play him against the Phillies. But I do like Greinke a little bit more. I feel like a lot of people are probably going to play Taillon, and Greinke might actually be lower owned. So for tournaments, I think Greinke's a good play. For cash games, I think honestly both guys are good options. Maybe Taillon might be a little safer, but both guys do have upside. If you want to play Taillon today over Greinke, I wouldn't mind that at all. But I'm going to roll with Greinke at 10.6. They're looking for SP2. I think there's a clear SP2 option today. Maybe I'm wrong here, but Jake Arrieta just seems too cheap at $7,600 against the Pirates. The Pirates, definitely a team that has hit the ball well this year. I know adding Corey Dickerson has helped them out a lot. He's been hitting the ball very well. Josh Bell, been solid. Polanco's been good as well. But this is still a lineup that I definitely think Arrieta can get through and have some success against. You do have strikeouts in this lineup. Guys like Marte versus a righty, Cervelli versus a righty, Jordy Mercer versus a righty, obviously the pitcher as well. Definitely some strikeouts for Arrieta. But the main reason I really like him here is just the price tag. I feel like $7,600 is too cheap for a guy like Jake Arrieta, the guy that has this kind of talent. I know he hasn't looked that good so far with the Phillies through 2 games. Just for fantasy, he hasn't been great, 12 and 11.6 DK points through 2 games. But I think we see Arrieta get things going here, and I think he gets 20 DraftKings points or more today. So I do like him at $7,600. I think he's the clear SP2 option. If you want to play Greinke and Taillon, if you can find the value bats, you could do that. Or if you want to play Greinke and Anderson or Taillon and Anderson, I think that does make sense. But if you're wanting to pay up for some bats, you're going to need a little bit of savings at pitcher. I think that's where Arrieta comes in with his price just being $7,600. And that's really it for pitcher for me today. Eduardo Rodriguez against the Angels, I just don't think I'm going to go there. I just don't think there's enough strikeouts in the Angels lineup. And then after Erod, like Harvey, Bloch, Sanchez, just these aren't guys I'm very interested in today. So pitcher for me, it's definitely Taillon, Anderson, Greinke, and Arrieta. Those are the 4 pitchers I have my eye on today. Now if we want to look for bats, some hitters to target on this slate at first base, I do like paying up at this position. Freddie Freeman I think is a great option here against Matt Harvey, but I really like Paul Goldschmidt today at 5K against Ty Bloch. I think this is such a good matchup for Goldschmidt versus a lefty. We know Goldschmidt hits lefties very well. He's going up against a very bad lefty today in Bloch. Bloch really struggles to righties. He struggles out of AT&T Park. And going to Chase Field today, definitely a hitter's park, a ballpark that I think much more hitter-friendly than AT&T is, obviously. So you can definitely target some of the righties here from the Diamondbacks. Even the lefties I think are fine plays, but like Goldschmidt, Marte, Pollock, Owings, Ahmed, these are kind of the guys I'm looking at today from the Diamondbacks. I think all of them make a lot of sense. I think the Diamondbacks, they're able to put up runs here against Ty Bloch. Like I said, Bloch, he's not a good pitcher. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. He pretty much pitches to contact, throws the ball in the zone a lot. And when you're throwing the ball in the zone versus Paul Goldschmidt, things aren't really going to work out in your favor. So really like Goldschmidt here. I think he's one of the top overall hitters on the slate. Definitely a guy I'm looking to pay up for at first base for 5K. And then my next play, Coming from second base, I do like the Braves here as a potential stack, especially some of their lefties. So Ozzie Albies, I think, is a really good option here at 4,300 in a matchup with Matt Harvey. I do really like Albies. I like this matchup. Like I said, I like the Braves here as a potential stack. I think they are able to put up runs on Matt Harvey. I don't think Matt Harvey is that good of a pitcher. So Inciarte, Albies, Freeman, if you want to do that 1-2-3 stack, I think that makes a lot of sense. Inciarte is really cheap. Albies, I feel like, is kind of underpriced. Freeman's pretty much his normal price. I think Freeman's always going to be a guy you want to pay up for. And he's always going to cost you salary. 5.1K is expensive, but maybe like if you're playing on FanDuel, I know you could play catcher at first base. You could play Freeman at first base, and then you could play like Goldschmidt at your util spot if you can find the value at bat. So don't mind doing that all, playing on FanDuel if you want to do that. But like I said, I do prefer Goldschmidt over Freeman today. But if you're stacking the Braves, Freeman's a guy you want to consider. Albies is a great play in my opinion as well. And Inciarte at the top can definitely be a guy you look to. Preston Tucker could also be an option, just a guy with a lot of power and a good hitter's park for lefties. Going up against a pitcher that will give up home runs. Do like the lefties here from the Braves, and I think they are very intriguing versus Matt Harvey. So for that reason, I have a lot of interest in Ozzie Albies today. The dude's just such a good hitter. He's got power. He's got speed. Just kind of has everything you need for fantasy. And one of my favorite plays definitely at second base today. And then my final play, going to come from the outfield. There's a really cheap value option I like here. Domingo Santana at 3K. I think it's a good value play today here versus Dylan Peters. Domingo Santana definitely been on a cold streak so far this year. Has not been hitting the ball well. Just hitting a 232 average. Has not homered at all yet. But I think this is a spot where we see Domingo Santana really get things going. And I also think this is a spot where the Brewers do put up runs versus Dylan Peters. Peters is not a good pitcher. I like a lot of the righties from the Brewers. I think Kane, Santana, Braun, Aguiar, if he's in the lineup, even Hernan Perez. These guys are all valuable options in my opinion, especially a guy like Santana who's just 3K, projected at second, a guy that has a lot of power versus lefties, going up against a bad lefty in a hitter's park. I think everything sets up well for Domingo Santana today. So I really like him as a value option at outfield. If you're looking to go cheap there, or if you're wanting to pay up a pitcher today, you're going to need some value, and I think that's where Santana comes in. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today. Zach Greinke, Jake Arrieta, Paul Goldschmidt, Ozzie Albies, and Domingo Santana. Now if we want to look at some of the top stacks on this slate, some of the teams that have the highest implied run totals, the 1 and 2 stacks for me today, number 1 and number 2. I think number 1 for me is probably the Diamondbacks versus Blotch. Specifically the righties from the Diamondbacks, but you could definitely consider the lefties as well. I just don't think Blotch is a good pitcher, and I think the Diamondbacks, they're able to put up runs here in my opinion. And then next stack for me is the Brewers versus Dylan Peters. Want to get some of those righties in there like Kane, Santana, Braun, Aguiar. Those are 1 and 2 for me today. And then if we're looking at like a sneaky stack, I think the Braves could be sneaky here versus Matt Harvey, Inciarte, Albies, Freeman. I think guys that do make sense. But now if we want to look at BVP, there aren't a ton of BVP plays on the slate with at least a 10 at-bat sample. The 4 BVP plays are Josh Bell versus Arrieta, 7 for 14 with 2 home runs. Gregory Polanco's 8 for 34 versus Arrieta with 3 home runs. Sean Rodriguez is 4 for 10 versus Arrieta with a home run. And then Andrew McCutchen, 8 for 30 with the home run versus Zach Greinke. But even though some of these Pirates have hit Arrieta well, I still really like him here, and I still think he is a good option. So not a ton of BVP plays, especially not with it being 5 games. We're not going to have a lot of plays. But you could definitely consider maybe like Josh Bell. If you're not playing Arrieta, he is 7 for 14, which is a pretty good 500 average with 2 home runs. Maybe you play Bell today with that BVP. Then PVB, there aren't any pitchers that have done really well in their matchups that are on the main slate, at least with a 60 at-bat sample. But that's really it for BVP and PVB, and that's really it for this slate, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. It's probably going to be a pretty quick video just because it's a 5-game slate. We don't have a lot of options here, not a lot of BVP plays, not a lot of stacks to talk about just because it's 5 games. But I'm sure we'll be back to normal Friday. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of games on Friday. But anyways, guys, like I said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below. If you do have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GO, or just feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys, and good luck tonight on this slate. Peace.